Hello, Gun Nation. Looks like it is kicking off here. Give me just 1 second. I have to mute this other one.
Hello, Gun Nation.
There we go. How's everybody doing this evening?
When it comes to home entertainment.
That's weird. How's everybody doing this evening? Can you hear me? Everybody can hear me? See me? All that good stuff? Give me a yes, no, maybe. You think so? Okay, I guess you can see me. I got the CZ hat on. Okay. All right. Wait and let everybody pile in here. How's everybody doing this evening? Got C. Kim, Pistol Pete, Music Lover, Big Al was in here earlier. Cajun Tigers. Hello, Cajun Tigers. Have you been shooting up there lately? Got Scott, William Hampton, Nicholas Rodriguez. All right. Well, I wanted to go ahead and do my Texas Outlaw chat. You know, I do solo chats periodically. I don't do them enough. And I thought tonight was a great night to do it. And, you know, we talk about other guns and stuff like that. But I get a lot of questions on CZs. Tell me about this. Tell me about that. Do you have any questions on this? Questions on, you know, people are asking which is better, this, that. You know, what do you like about this one? What do you don't like about that one? So I thought kind of bringing some samples out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 7. I just drug some out of the safe. I didn't bring them all out, but I've got some here. And just figured if y'all had questions, and I would kind of tell you some likes and dislikes on ones that I have. And I brought musics out so I can help her represent. So here's hers right here. This is the Black Widow. That's what I've named it. Got some lock grips on there. Really pretty. And all of these have been safety checked. So, but I wanted to see, oh, okay. Well, here we go already. Keith Gregory, how about CZ customer service? I've used CZ customer service. One time they forgot to put the safety in one of my boxes. I called them. They shipped it right out. I've personally never had any issues with CZ customer service. They're always really nice. You know, I haven't had any issues with them personally. Now, I haven't had to send a pistol back in, but I have friends who have to get them fixed, and I know Music did. And you know, from what I understand, they were really good. So, but anyone ever get irritated on the slide stop thumb support hand? Well, with my hand, it doesn't bother me, but what I can do is I kind of wrap it down so it's right here, you know, and it doesn't really bother me. What you can do, Music, is you can take this thumb and wrap it over the top of this knuckle and keep it away and then shoot. So I have seen people do that before. I just kind of grip it so damn hard, and when I press this hand against the slide, it's just right there, so it never touches it. If you can see that, that's the way I do it. And I've never had an issue with it at all. But it's going to depend on, I guess, your size of your hands, you know, fingers, things like that. So, no, you need to shoot more. Yeah, I mean, that's everybody. I was going to say, it's shooting is fun. I've had good customer service from CZ on the only occasion I had to deal with them. That's Dennis Jones. Good deal. I'm glad to hear that. Got your hands on a P10S. Love it. 300 plus rounds through it. Not one issue. Yeah, that's awesome. I love the P10 also. I've got the P10C. I've got the P10F with the optic on it. And I got tired of waiting for CZ to come out with the damn plates. So the second CZ Custom came out with the plate, I grabbed it. But if you look right there, you will see the gap right there. And supposedly on the CZ factory one that they're going to make the plate, there's not going to be that gap. And I've had people go, oh, that gap would drive me crazy. That would really bug me. Doesn't matter to me. They both serve the same purpose. So I guess if you're OCD, it could bother you. It doesn't bother me a bit. And this thing works perfect. I've even gone in and checked with my inch pounds wrench to see if they've backed off, and they haven't backed off once. Still has the same calibration it needs. So I haven't had one issue with it. And I've got 2,400 rounds through this pistol. So I just did a video on it, matter of fact. Did you shoot the custom P09 yet. Here it is right here. Matter of fact, I was going to shoot it today. Something came up. I could not get to the range, and I'm actually getting ready. Well, packing some stuff up, so won't be able to go this weekend, but I'll definitely hit it next week. But this thing feels really awesome. Did put the rear sight, if you can see it right here, did put the rear sight on the Delta Point Pro. It actually just kind of goes right down in it. So I did put that on there. But, and I don't have a front co-witness sight yet, but I will be doing that. But, you know, on these, I don't really use the sights a whole lot. It's great in competition if your optic were to go out. You know, you're going to have, you know, a backup for your irons. But so far, I haven't had an optic go out yet. Let's see here. Yes, this is the SP01. You can see it right here. This is the SP01 Tactical. It's the same as yours. This does have the lock large palm swell grips. And I'm not going to muzzle myself, but if you look right there, you can actually see the palm swells on each side. It's a copy of the rubber grips, just as you get them from the factory. However, these are G10 material, and these are the grippiest ones. These are, oh, what is the exact name of them? The starts with the G. I just drew a blank, but these are the most aggressive ones he makes. I really like the aggressive ones. As a matter of fact, I have the aggressive ones on every one of my pistols from Lock Grips. Let's see here. Yeah, I wish they would sell the P09 with the optic slide, and maybe they will. I just got tired of waiting on that too. So, yeah, and on the P07, the stippling, and it was done by Slidework Engineering and Warpath, or excuse me, the slide was done by the slide and the all of the oh gosh, sorry, I'm trying to talk too fast. The slide work and all of the Cerakote was done by Slidework Engineering, and then the stippling was done by Warpath Frameworks. So they work in conjunction with each other. So they did a fabulous job on this thing. It's awesome. Really, really like it. Matter of fact, I've already done a video, and I did it for a bunch of people who asked, but I know that Music has been asking, what is the difference between the P10F and the P09? So I've already filmed that video. It should be dropping, but I will go ahead and give you some hints real quick. The P10F, the trigger on this one, and it was checked multiple times, it was 4 pounds, 13 ounces for the P10F, and that's after 2,400 rounds. The P09 double action, and that's without a kit on this one, and this one is newer than my other P09. It's 10 pounds, 4.6 ounces, but the single action is 3 pounds, 11.3 ounces. So you're really only pulling the double action once, and then after that, you're getting a, you know, 3.5 or over, a little over a 3.5 pound pull every time after that. Let's see here. Who makes those? Are you talking about the grips? Yes, they're the bogies. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I thought it started with a G. They're the bogies. You are right, Dennis. Those are Lock Grips, LOK grips, and you can use my discount code. It's BJGG, and it'll save you 10%. Have you put a +2 on the P10F mag? It's actually, the +2 is exactly the same as your P09, P07 extensions. So you can just take one of those +2s off and you can put it right over on there. The slide cut on this one was, I think it was like, it was under $100. I mean, it was very reasonable. And then of course you can pick your, it doesn't include the Cerakote, but you know, it does really help and make a big difference. I mean, I definitely wanted something with some stippling, and I wanted something different that made it stand apart. Keith Gregory, Shadow 2, is it worth it? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I guess Shadow 2. Yep, here's one of my Shadow 2s. This is the Urban Gray. It also has lock grips on it. Go ahead and drop the mag on it. It also has the lock grips on it, and these are the palm swells like I was talking about before. And these, if you can see it up close, they actually say BJGG in them for Big Johnson Guns and Gear. So He can actually do those. He can do, I've got them with the Texas logo actually embossed in them. He has to manually do all that. But yeah, he makes some awesome grips. Christopher, hello, how are you? Yeah, we got the CZ Tactical hat, yes. And if anybody's interested in these hats, I know I've had a few people ask me. I ordered them, believe it or not, on eBay. On eBay, because they're kind of hard to find. I ordered them on eBay. It's the Flex Fit, and you can get different sizes. And they're from the Czech Republic. There's one place that sells them, and I think they're knockoffs, but this one's actually from the Czech Republic because it comes with a little label in it. And you can get them very reasonably priced. Let's see here. Yeah. Okay, good deal. Bought yourself a ton of paper plates. What's up, 17? Let's see here. Make sure I haven't missed anything. What am I shooting more accurately, the P09 or the P10? I actually shoot them both pretty accurately. I'm still getting used to the dot. I seem to be doing pretty well with it, but that's kind of another reason I put the dot on the P09, because I kind of want to compare a dot gun to another dot gun. Irons, I've always been able to shoot irons pretty well. So I really want to get used to the dot and kind of get into the dot game. So that's why I've done what I've done. Let's see here. Daryl Buffkin, my P10F made in Kansas City optic ready will be on Monday with the RMR plate. First striker fire I've ever had. Love your live chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think you're going to like the P10F a lot. Now, I don't know if you watched the video I did on it, but be aware of this. You can hear that. That's totally normal. My opinion on that is they made the tolerances a little looser. So if you got any debris or anything in there, it would actually work, I guess, better. Tighter tolerances sometimes lead to, if you get any debris in there, it could cause issues. So I think they just made it so that way, so it would have a little less tighter tolerances. But as far as the barrel lockup, it's super tight, super accurate. I mean, this gun is way, way more accurate than I am, so I think you'll enjoy it. Let's see here. We got Craig in there. High point is the best. Yes, high point is definitely the best. Voltaire E30. If you could only have one CZ to, I guess, that I would own, which one would you have? I've said it before. If you could bring it down to one polymer and one steel, but if I could only have one right now, just because I carry it a lot, it's kind of more a dual, would be the CZ P09. And I have two of these. One is the Urban Gray. And if you've seen the videos, it actually has a comp on the end. So that thing is long. And I do carry it. I carry an appendix holster, and it works great. I've got videos on that. Probably be the P09. Now, if it was a steel frame gun, like maybe you wanted a target gun or home defense or whatever, I would say the Shadow 2, because you do have a rail on here, so you could use it as a home defense weapon. You could put a light on it. Matter of fact, you could even carry it if you really wanted to. It's heavy, but you could carry it. So let's see here. We've got the custom, or the CZ Custom Rammy BD. Yeah, I've seen a lot of the Rammies. I personally am just not a huge Rammy fan because they're so small. That's just my opinion. But, I know a lot of people like them and shoot them and stuff like that. So going to pick up a Beretta 92X. I personally am not. It doesn't really do anything for me. I've shot Berettas in the past, and they're okay, but doesn't do anything for me personally. I had the original 92 way back in the day. Let's see here. Yeah, P01 is a great pistol too. I didn't bring it out. I've got some other ones. Matter of fact, the P01's in my carry rotation, so it's in a different safe. And my P01 is completely stock. I do, and I've said this kind of before, I do want to change, or I do want to change, or oh, I'm sorry, she's saying the SPO1. Yes, my SPO1 is stock. However, there's things that I want to change on this also. I don't like this hook trigger personally. I want to change it to the 85 Combat, and then put just a spring kit in it and an extended firing pin. You really don't need the full Cajun Pro kit for these. I've seen springs put in them and the extended firing pin, and they actually are a lot better just by doing that. And it's a lot less expensive. Matter of fact, the new trigger for these are only $38 just for the actual trigger itself, the trigger shoe. Let's see here. And I was going to do the same thing to my PO1 that I was going to do to the SPO1. Defending Fathers. Let's see here. Yeah, Defending Fathers. Have I thought about sending out your Shadow 2 slide? Maybe. Are you reading my mind right now? Sorry, I've got to answer this. Somebody's wearing me out. Let's see here. Yeah, there's actually, if you go on like Cajun Gunworks or you go on CZ Custom, it'll tell you exactly what to get. I don't know all of the actual setups for it, so I have to read it just like everyone else does. Have you ever put a bracket for an RMR on your TSO, and what is your opinion? I have not put the bracket on it yet. Matter of fact, I'm working, or a company, I've already been talking to them, and they're actually designing something for the TSO and the Checkmate, and it is a bracket where you can put the red dot on the top and a different kickstand. So hopefully when that's available, I'll have that for my TSO. So let's see here. I shot a 92 since the 90s, but had to train to enjoy it. Bought a CZ75 2 years ago, and it's fantastic. Yeah, the 75 is a really great pistol. I've got this one, and this is the 75B. Now, this is the Omega. It's the Urban Gray. It's got the tall suppressor sights, threaded barrel. I really like this pistol a lot. There is a difference between, a lot of people don't know this, but your 75 has a different beaver tail than the SPO1. I'll try to see if I can put them up there. It's not a major difference, but now, yeah, it's probably going to be really hard to see this. But there is a difference in the beaver tail. And when you hold the SPO1, I actually like the SPO1 feel just a little bit better. However, the 75 feels really good too, and it shoots great. So, but I prefer the Omega setups if I can get them. They just don't make a SPO1, tactical or an SPO1 Omega, but they did offer it in the 75, and that's why I grabbed that. And I've shot a 75 regular. I just never owned it. And, I know a lot of people like them and shoot them. It's just if I had the option to get the Omega, I wanted to choose the Omega personally. Let's see here. There's got to be more questions than this. As far as magazines, I'll go ahead and share this. Matter of fact, and this will be good for music to know. Your magazines that come like this, they come in your SPO1 Tactical, and it's got this cut in it, a little, so you can stick your finger in it. These magazines are crap, okay? What CZ did inside here, they didn't put a strong enough spring. So if you ever have any problems with like your gun, and knock on wood, I haven't, but I don't shoot these mags because I know that, so I really don't shoot them. But like people have shot them, and during slamming a mag in, the base plate will pop off, and that's because the spring in these are undersprung. Lone Wolf does make a spring that you can change out, and then this will work correctly. So anything with this little indentation down here, like the SPO1 comes with this one, and the 75B comes with this one because this is a extension, but these are junk. So change the spring out in them. But I never shoot these mags. I usually shoot these with extensions, and these just kind of sit around. So just a little info there. Hey, what's up, Fu Master? Does the Shadow 2 take 75 mags? Yes, it does, Dan. That's the great thing. The P01, the SP01, the 75, the Shadow 2, the Shadow 1, 75 Urban Gray, they all take the CZ75B mags. So that's the great thing about those. Now, when you get into the P09, or put it this way, the new P10F, the new P10S, and the new P10C optic ready, if they have the 4 cuts on the side, they'll fit your P10F, they'll fit your P09s, even your older ones, and they'll fit your P07s. So that's a good thing there too. There's only a couple of guns that won't set up with anything. The TSO takes its own totally different mag, the TSO does, and the 97B. This is your 45, and it actually takes its own mag. As a matter of fact, it has CZ97 right on the mag, if you can see it very well. I don't know how it's going to show up, but anyway, it says it right there on the side. So, and if you haven't seen the 97B, here it is right here. It has a safety. This is the 45 ACP, and this is a very wide gun, and it's wide this way, this way, and it's wide this way. And it comes with, grips, but I don't like them. So I put the lock grips, and actually I wanted the palm swells. So lock grips does make palm swells for the 97s now, and they're wider because I have large hands and it doesn't bother me. So these grips, this whole gun is bigger than all the other guns, just so you're aware of that. But 97B is a shooter. Is the Phantom becoming less popular with all the new models, P09s, etc.? The Phantom is a great pistol. A lot of people like it. The only thing I don't like about it, and the good thing, it does take 75B mags also, where the P09 doesn't. The thing I don't like about it is the slide. It's really narrow on the top. It's similar to this, similar to like the 97. It's just real thin. And when it's sitting up on there, I have a hard time grabbing it. Now, that's another reason I like these, because look at this. I mean, hell, with the front sight on this one, I can rack this thing. But, those thin sights, or the thin slides, are difficult for somebody with, big hands. So, but, I think the Phantom is a great pistol. I personally just don't like it. I need to take a drink. Okay, let's take a drink. Some people do like the rubber CZ grips. I personally, they fit good to your hand. There's just not enough aggression on there for me. Yes, the Shadow 2 mags, Springer Precision has really nice extensions for them. Terran Tactical does also, and I believe Dawson does. But the Springer Precisions, I've personally used the Springer Precisions, and I've used the Dawsons, and they both work great. The Springer Precision, you can get like orange, you can get red, silver, black, blue. And I think that's it, but they offer some pretty cool colors. If you do buy the extensions, get the Spring and Follower. I think it's $7 more, but definitely buy that too. Brewmaster Chew, yes, this is a CZ75B Urban Gray Omega. So, and it has lock grips on it also. And, a lot of people, if you don't know, the 75B doesn't have the dust cover like the SP01. I've had that question asked before too. What's the difference? Because if you look at the trigger guards, they're very similar. And, there's kind of another thing too. If you're looking at an SP01, just the standard tactical, you'll have a little bit of, grip here and a little bit of grip there. Not very much, not like on a Shadow 2, but look at the 75B. Smooth as a baby's butt right here, and smooth as a baby's butt right there. There's absolutely no texturing on that at all. But with the, the locks, they really give you a lot there. So if that's something to consider, it feels weird because it's so smooth on the front of that pistol, though. Yeah, it's a nice shooting pistol. Let's see here. That's common, dry firing without snap caps. Yeah, I do have snap caps. I've got them right here. I'll do it periodically without snap caps, but I do have snap caps right here. Got a little stack of them. Only bad thing is if you're just sitting there, pulling and pulling and pulling, I've actually got some snap caps that I've blown the inside of them from dry firing so much. And then if you rack it, it's going to go flying somewhere and you got to hunt them down. And I've lost a couple of them. I don't know where the heck they are. Let's see. Anyone running? I think there were 27 rounds, 75, 9mm, 27 rounds. Okay, well, in USPSA, you can only have 140 millimeter length. So anything over that, it throws you into the open division. So yes, you can get longer ones. That'll be up to 170 millimeters. But when you do that, it automatically throws you into open. So I try to stay under the minimum if I'm shooting those type of pistols. So, okay, yeah. Music, it is different. I like the fiber optic front with the blacked out rear, like on the Shadow 2. It has this, if you can see these, I'm sure you can. I'm actually a fan of those sights because, like on this one, for example, and I know you're familiar with this one, like the front sight on this, that's pretty chunky. So if you have to take like a farther shot where you've got like maybe, of course, at a distance, your bullseye is going to get smaller. And this tends to kind of block a lot of that for me. I can still shoot it, but I just prefer the fiber optic. But everyone's eyes and setup they like are going to be different. So yes, they do. The 75 Metgar mags run good with the extensions also. I've got Metgar mags too. Matter of fact, just so you know, all of the factory CZ mags, they're actually made by Metgar. So they're just stamped by CZ, but Metgar makes them for CZ. So it's the same damn mag. And I've never had a problem with a Metgar mag. So yeah, on the 27 rounder for just general use, yeah. I mean, get it and just play with it. It's fun. It's kind of like a little fun stick. Shoot it. What's up, Alaskan? But yeah, it's going to be music or master shooter at 1 yard. Yeah, I was going to say, I think I am too at 1 yard. But it really comes down to personal preference. It's what you like, what you're going to use it for. Is it just going to be like a target gun, home defense gun? Are you only going to buy one of them? Or are you thinking, what, I want to get this one first and then get another one? Those are just choices that you have to make. I've seen people say, I'm going to get a compact. So then they get the compact, the little, like a P01 or a PCR, and they're like, oh, well, this one's a little snappier than I thought it was, da-da-da-da-da. Sometimes it's better to get the bigger, heavier gun, get used to the recoil or less recoil, and then as you become more proficient, then get the smaller one. But it of course, is up to you. Metgar SIG mags are 100%. Actually, Metgar does not make the SIG mags anymore. They're made by Checkmate. The old mags, they used to be made by Metgar. If you look at the SIG mags, it'll say made in Italy. And I still have some of those, even though I don't have the 320 anymore, because those were super hard to get. And I got a ton of them. If you look at all the new SIGs, they all say made in the USA. And those are made by Checkmate. And when I first got my Checkmate mag, it held 15 rounds, but I could only get 14 in it. So I had to send it back to SIG, and then they had to send me another mag. So I had problems when they first came out, but I understand they worked through that. Yeah, Metgar mags, yeah, they do have better springs. Which should be my first CZ, the P10C Tactical, or should you just get a 75? Alaskan, that really comes down to if you're wanting a striker fire or you're wanting a double action, single action. And we kind of talked about that a little bit on the chat, but that's kind of wanted to do this one separately because I've had a lot of questions. I figured, maybe since everybody knew it was a CZ chat, they could bring all their questions they had. But it really comes down to what you want. If you're used to a striker fire gun and you really enjoy them, I would say the P10C or F or S, whatever size you're wanting. But if you're like, you know what, I really want to try a steel gun, I would recommend, maybe like the 75B. I personally, like I said, I don't really like the hook trigger myself, and part of that is because of my fingers. I like the Omega trigger, and they do make the 70, just the regular 75 in Omega. They even make it in a single action, but they discontinued it. So if you could find that one, that's a really sweet shooter if you want a single action. But it really comes down to what you're going to like. Let's see here. Do you have much experience with red dots on a pistol? I am leading to getting another one. Venom, any preference? Well, Fu, I've really now I did shoot this pistol, the P10F, without the optic quite a bit. And then with the optic on it, I've shot it quite a bit. And I'm really liking the optics. I will let you know when I had the Glock 34 and I had the Delta Point Pro on it, I didn't care for it at all. I had a hard time lining up the dot. I was hunting for the dot. However, it's due to the Glock angle. So when I would throw the gun out there, I was having to pull the gun down or up to find the dot. With this one, I just kind of come in, boom, the dot's right there. So with this angle or this setup, it's working better for me. And I love the P09, so that's one reason I wanted to have a dot put on this one, because it sets up nicely. So when I just draw straight out, the dot's right there. I don't have to hunt and find for it like I do on Glocks. And that's just my personal opinion. Others can vary. So I'm hooked on the P01 Omega's amazing little beast. It is a nice little gun. When I first got it, the P01, I was, because I was trying to compare it to other pistols. So when I first got it and shot it, and I was trying to be a reviewer and just like give an opinion that others might not know. And what I found, it was snappier, had a little more, muzzle rise, even than the P07. And I actually shot the P07 better. I did a test between the two, and I shot the P07 better. So, but as I shot it more and more and more and got used to it, I shoot it fine. The sights, they're still not perfect for me, but I shoot it pretty good. So I do like the Trigicon. I'm really liking it. I like the Delta Point Pro. Also, I did pre-order the new Trigicon SRO. That's the big one where it kind of, it's the bigger one. It's going to compete with the Delta Point Pro, but actually it has a little bit larger window than the Delta Point Pro. It's taller and rounder, because what I've experienced when I'm shooting with the RMR, like I just shot a competition with this, when you're shooting, I don't care, even if you have the Gorilla Grip on it and you've got great recoil, because I have pretty good recoil. But when you're doing rapid fire on the smaller window, the dot can actually jump out of the top of the window under recoil because it's a short window. On the Delta Point Pro, it's taller. So when I had the Delta Point Pro and I was shooting it good, I would never lose the dot out of the window. It would always stay in the window. Well, the SRO is even bigger, a little taller. So I think the dot's even going to stay in it better. But I've already pre-ordered it, already paid for it. They're saying it should ship the middle of this month or the first of next month. So I'm really wanting to get the dang thing. And it does have the same footprint as the RMR. So if you already have an RMR, you just take that one off and put the SRO on it, so you don't have to change anything. Yes, I do have astigmatism also. So that is why I've chosen to go with the smaller dots. Some people want the 5, the 5 dot or the 7.5, things like that. I try to stay with the 2.5 or 3.5 because when I turn it up, I can actually make it bloom more with my astigmatism. And even when it's really small, I still get a little bit of blooming. So let's see here. Okay. All right, Steve and Kathy. The 75B Omega convertible has the frame with the better beaver tail, straight trigger like the P09 and P09 sights, 3.5 single action, best. Yeah. Stephen, Kathy, this is the gun you're talking about right here. That's the Omega 75B. That's the convertible. So you can change this to it. This is set up as a decocker right now, but it does come with a safety in the box. So you can actually change it to safety if you choose to. That's the neat thing about the Omegas also. Is there any CZ double action single action that has 0 slack in the single action pull? Unless you, well, you know, I would say you're going to get it. Like this one actually has the Apex kit in it. This is not a factory trigger that's in the Shadow 2. So, you know, I'll try to pull it with my thumb. So here's the double action. You know, you've got that kind of play right there. Then you pull through, and I'm just pulling it with my thumb. And then there's that. Oh, this is weird. Okay, and then here's this. So there's your reset. Right there. And then there's the slack before your single action. And then there it is. So I would say probably the least is going to be the Shadow 2 out of the ones. Yeah, let me check this one real fast. This is the tactical. I think it has, yeah, it has a lot more. Let me check that. Yeah, it even has a longer reset. Yeah, see, it has a lot more, and that's single action. So I'd probably say the Shadow 2. I mean, with the ones that I have out here. What's up, KS? Let's see here. I wear glasses for distance when I shoot. Whenever I try to shoot a friend's red dot, I just suck because I try to focus on the dot instead of the target, need trigger time or other. Yes, Dennis, I've learned that too. On any red dot that you're shooting, don't look at the dot. You look at your target and you just put the dot right over it, wherever you want to shoot it. And it took me and I still haven't broken it all the time. When I'm in competition, it's like your brain just freaks out and you go to whatever you want to do. But, you know, you always want to put it out on the target. And when you're doing transitions, you know, look at your target and then just put the dot over it and pop it. So it does take a lot to get used to. Big Johnson, the PO7, is it worth changing out the trigger system? Honestly, I've kept my PO7 and both my PO9s are stock. I shoot them fine. I don't have any problem with it. However, I would not recommend the full CZ Custom Pro kit. However, you can get just an extended firing pin, and it comes with extended firing pin and firing pin spring, and then you can get your hammer spring. So you can just get the one hammer spring, or you can buy the hammer spring kit. There's about, I think there's 3 in the package. So, and then you can just pull your pin out of the bottom and change your hammer spring out, and then put your firing pin in. And with the extended firing pin, even if you use a lighter spring for the double action, the extended firing pin is still going to fire the round. So that's what you want the extended firing pin for. And if you get the full Cajun Pro kit, you know, they're like $239. But the other way, you're only looking at like, I want to say it's $30 in parts, something like that. So I would try that. And I think you're going to be happy with that. Yeah, and music, when you shoot your PO1 decocked, you know, and I've had people ask me about that too. So you'll hit the decocker, and then that puts it in half cocked. So it actually takes part of the pull. It's probably not a full half. It's probably like, takes a quarter of the pull out. So when you pull it now, you know, there's all the slack in that, and that's in the half cock position. But when you pull it now, you're just pulling this. And I'm gonna knock it's gonna hammer my finger, so let me move it. But when you pull it, it just goes to there. So, you know, that's the neat thing about the decockers. You know, that's why I tend to keep them on a lot of my pistols, because I carry them. Not every single one of them, but, you know, like the PO9s, PO7s, I just keep them as a decocker. Plus, you know, when I run this in competition, and it doesn't bother me to drop the hammer, because when I shoot the Shadow 2, you know, like you're going to rack it, you're going to make it ready. That's what he's going to tell you. Well, you don't have a decocker on this. So what you do is you just pinch it and you pull the trigger, keep it downrange, and then do that. And then you're just setting on the firing pin. So right now, my first pull is going to be double action. Now this has a kit, but when you pull it, you know, it just rolls right through. So it's not a big deal to drop the hammer. You know, you can do it with the web. You can put your thumb in there. There's a lot of people that do it, but I just hold the hammer and let it go. What mags did the P07 take? The P07 will take the P09, the new P09 mags. It'll take the new P10F mags. And of course, it'll take the P07 mags, but you can run the longer mags. They have their own mags. They won't take a 75B mag. Mags can fit in the P10C that are not American manufactured. Okay. Have you ever owned the P07 Duty? I have not owned a P07 Duty. However, I have shot the P07 Duty. A buddy of mine has one. And it has the hooked trigger. So it's not the Omega type trigger. It's more like the SP01. Matter of fact, the trigger looks similar, you know, kind of like these because they're more of a hook. And it's a fine pistol, you know, and if you could like find one used or something like that, get a smoking deal on it, I would do it. However, I really, between shooting the both of them, which I have, I definitely prefer the Omega, and that's just my opinion. I know 17, you know, he likes the standard trigger on a lot of his pistols. Let's see here. Yeah, I saw the Alabama Arsenal. They did that 92 Elite video. I saw that. Langdon Tactical. Put the 13-pound hammer, bring it in, 75B Omega convertible. No other changes, and is fired all factory brands of brass. Yeah. Yeah, the only thing is on your factory hammer, or excuse me, your factory firing pin, over a longer period of time, that little spring that's in there can get weak, and you could have failures to detonate. So I just go with the extended firing pins. They're super cheap, and that way you never have to worry about it. Because if you also run some reloads with like really hard primers, like I've got some ammo that it's from what's it called, IWI, and it's got a green primer in it. That's supposedly the hardest primer. I think it's made in Israel, but I bought 1,000 rounds of it. And some of my guns didn't like it because the primer was so hard. So, but anything with an extended firing pin, it'll pop it right off. So, yeah, the Langdons are nice. I like those. He does a good job on those. Yeah, Alabama Arsenal with that music, it's just kind of like you're just chilling along. But every time you hear the music, you know it's theirs. Let's see. Have you ever had one of those firing pin retaining pins break? I personally have not. Now, when I've installed them, that little bitty spring, you know, when you take the backs off of them, if you're not careful, that thing will shoot out and you'll never find the little firing pin spring. So I have not had the firing pin retaining pins break. I know a lot of people have, and I know sometimes if you just sit around and dry fire them with nothing in there, they're saying that does put a lot of stress on them. That's why they recommend the O-ring. You can put the O-ring back behind the firing pin, or right inside here. You can just put a small O-ring right inside there, so it's never hitting right on it. Or you can use snap caps. So, matter of fact, I think one of these snap caps, I think I've been playing with it so much, I messed up the back of one of these. Yeah, this one's got a hell of a dent in it. I don't know how well you can see it, but anyway, let's see. Yeah, Dan, I know about that. Yeah, you can actually, if you really want to cheat in USPSA, a lot of people don't know this, when your trigger is back like this, you can actually just put it down to like right there, and you can see that it's still kind of in the half cock position. And some people do that. However, just because they say they want the hammer fully down in USPSA, when they say that, I just go ahead and put it all the way down. Because like I said, with these kits and these things, and even the Shadow 2 stock, man, the double action is really not bad on these pistols at all. I've made some of my best shots in double action right off the bat. Let's see here. Yeah, the O-ring. Yeah, a lot of people, and you can find them. I bought some of them in a little pack at, I think it was Harbor Freight or something. They just had like a O-ring assortment, and I believe it or not, I used the O-rings for something else. But I went and started digging in the box that I had. I was doing it for a mechanical repair, but I found that the O-rings, and I was like, oh, this one looks like it'll fit, and I used it, and it fit fine. What's my top 5 CZs? Golly. Then KS has 1 CZ and 1 CZ only. My top 5 CZs would be, and I like 45s a lot, so I would say the 97B. I would say the Shadow 2, and I won't say you have to have the TSO. Okay, I really love that gun for single action, but the Shadow 2, I would actually pick this before the TSO. I would say the P09 or P07 variant, whichever one you choose. I like the P09 because of the bigger grip. I would say a P10 of some sort, whichever. How many is that? 4? And in my case, I like the P09 and the P07, so that's why I have a P07 also. So that way, if I just need to carry a little bit smaller gun, I've got it. So those would be my choices. And I would pick the P07. Me personally, I would pick the P07 over the P01. Just my opinion. Now, KS Gun Guy, if I could only pick 1 CZ and 1 CZ only, and that we kind of talked about this on the chat, and it would be because I could only have one, so that means I'm going to have to carry it. I would pick the P09. And once I get more used to the dot, it could be this exact P09. I shoot very accurately with them. I like them. I can shoot fast with them. But if I could sneak another one in there and it was an all steel, it would be the Shadow 2. So if I could pick 2, it'd be the Shadow 2 and the P09 for me. Oh, thank you, Music. I appreciate the thumbs up. And see, Josh guessed the TSO, and I love the TSO. I think it is a great pistol. It is a fantastic pistol, but I'm saying if I could only pick one, I would pick the Shadow 2 over the TSO because there's much more you can do with the Shadow 2. You know, it's got a light rail on it, so you can actually put a light on it. You could use it for home defense. You know, it has phenomenal checkering. It does take the 75B mag, so it's compatible with the other ones, where the TSO has their own mags and they don't fit anything else. So you get a lot of, you know, goodies with this one. Plus, you got the extended slide or extended mag release that comes with it. Now, this one's been changed. These are lock grips. He actually makes G10 ones that are awesome. You know, you've got the extended thumb rest, or well, for your safety, or you've got the flat. Both of these come in the box, and I actually use this as a ledge, so I can put my thumb on it, and it's awesome, just like a 1911. Kind of gives you like a little gas pedal effect. So that's what I would say. Only 1 CZ for competition. Honestly, again, and here's the deal. And if you go with the TSO, but okay, put it this way: 1 CZ for competition. Just so y'all know, this is going to be one of my new Carry Optics competition guns. So it's going to be the P09. So, but the Shadow 2, you can shoot it in limited, minor, and that's with, you know, the longer mags, the up to 140 millimeter, or you can shoot it in production. TSO has to be, you know, limited only. So, best CZ clone. That's funny that you asked that, Dennis, because I figured that you were going to ask that. Oh, well, somebody asked. Oh, okay, Dan. Yeah, I'm answering this question for Dan. I saw it a second ago. Dan was saying, have I ever, where did it go? Oh, here it is. Have I ever compared the 97B to the FNX 45? Yeah, Dan, you might want to check out that video. I definitely have, because I do have the FNX 45. I love the FNX 45. There's 16 rounds of 230 grains of hate, where this one's, 10+1. And I love the FNX, but they both shoot great. This one's 10+1, and they do make a +2 extension for the 97, but they're really hard to find. I think they're made by Tanfolio, or the Tanfolio large frame fits it. So yeah, you can check out that video. Like I said, I like both of them a lot. All right. Does my Glock take CZ mags? Unfortunately, it does not. But, I can probably make them fit with a big hammer. Dennis Jones is asking for the best CZ clone. I brought it out just for this. In my opinion, this is the best CZ clone made, and it is a Tanfo. This is the Tanfo Stock 2, and it's hard chrome. If you look at it, you're going to see a lot of the looks from the Shadow 2. It has the front serrations, rear serrations, and it does have the extended safeties, but these are on both sides, so it has extended safeties on both sides. This gun is a phenomenal shooter. It is not stock, but one thing about this, check this out. I just leave this in there. This one actually has a coned barrel, so it's a bull barrel, but it's coned. So it actually is thick here, and then it actually thins as it goes down. So it's called a coned bull barrel. This gun is a phenomenal shooter. It's got some Eric Grafel kit in it. So it does have the flatter trigger. It does not come with this. It comes with a big hook trigger from the factory, and definitely needed a trigger kit and a trigger. So, and these mags will not fit a 75B mag. Actually has its own mags. They are called, there's a number on these, I forget what it is. It is called a 9LF, and I've got the base plates on the bottom of this. But this is a great pistol, and I even have videos of this comparing it to the Shadow 2, because this is where they got the Shadow 2. So if you look at this gun was out before the Shadow 2, and CZ pretty much copied the Tanfo and then made it a lot better. So, and if you're looking for lock grips, he makes them for the Tanfos also. Those are the large palm swells. And the Tanfo, this thing comes in an awesome box. If you want to look at the box, it comes with like a combination lock. It says Tanfo EAA on it. And it comes in a super nice case. It's got a kit. It's got a little, it's got all kinds of little cleaning kit, the Tanfo cleaning kit in here with the rods and brushes. Comes with this little goofy thing, but super nice case. And they're actually cheaper than the Shadow 2s. But by the time you do everything to them, you're pretty close. A coned head barrel. Yeah, it's called a coned bull barrel is what it's called. Let's see here. James Bond case. Yeah, there you go. But with the names and stuff on it, gun guys would know what it says on the outside. So let's see here. Chamber flag. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it came with that little chamber flag. So, and you're right. I did forget the dang name of that. I think it was a 75 compact. Tanfos are expensive. No, some of them aren't. Now, when you're talking about the polymer Tanfos, there's different versions. When you're talking about the polymer Tanfos, they're really cheap, but I don't really care for them that much. When you get into the Witness line, they're pretty awesome. Matter of fact, Tanfo makes the 10 millimeters also. Probably they're top of the line. They even make open guns, but because they're around competition too. But they have one called a Tanfo Limited, and it's awesome. Comes with a mag well. It already comes with the nice trigger. Super nice pistol, and it's only, I mean, you get everything, and I think it's only like $1,200. I mean, it's ready to race. And that one actually has the holes in the side of it, just like the CZ Checkmate. It's kind of like a Tanfo TSO model, but you can put the little bracket on the top to put the red dot on it. So it's really, really a nice setup. Yeah, and at some of the matches, like when you shoot PCC and stuff, they do require chamber flags. So it's good that I kind of just hang on to them. I've got a little box of them. Yeah, matter of fact, I've got probably 6 of them in a little box. And then sometimes, if you ever go to like a shotgun event or anything like that, they want you to have a chamber flag. Also and this is one thing about me, I know we've talked about it on chats before. If I have the choice of a front fiber optic color, I've changed all mine to green from red. They all come with red, but I've changed all mine to green. It tends to work better for me indoor and outdoor. With red indoor ranges, it kind of bleeds and I don't see it very well. So I've changed everything to green. So hey, I appreciate that, Dan. Yeah, I just wanted to do something different. Um, I get a lot of questions about CZs all the time, and people ask, so I just wanted to bring some out and some of them and show kind of what I'm messing around with and what I'm into. That's why I decided to do this one. How you doing, Big Al? Hope everything's well with you, buddy. Tried the fiber optic and it didn't work. Yeah, fiber optics for some people don't work. Some of them, like I actually really like the very small, thin ones, just for super accuracy or what I consider accuracy. Sometimes I will let you know this on the fiber optic sites. If you have a thin front, but back here it's really tight, and you don't have a little bit of air on each side, they're not as accurate for me. I like just a little bit of air on each side of the front sight. So it tends to work better for me. When was the last time I shot my SP01? I haven't shot this SP01 in honestly, probably a year. I haven't shot the SP01 and I haven't shot the 75B Omega in probably a year. I shot the 97B like 3 or 4 months ago. But that's the thing, when you collect them and stuff like that, it's hard to shoot them all. Craig, yeah, is the TriStar 120 worth having? I have a video on my channel. I actually bought a TriStar 120. I was thinking of taking it because I know that Cajun Gunworks sells Canic parts now for the TriStars. And I was going to get one and shoot it a little bit, see what I thought about it. And then I was thinking about changing like the trigger springs and stuff like that. When I shot it, and I know other people have gotten the TriStar and not had any problem with it. So mine that I had, it's like it had a burr on the trigger. When I pulled it, it was real crunchy. And I shot it, I only put about maybe 300 or 400 rounds through it, and it just never smoothed out. And then I started thinking about it. And also, it was shooting low, because they're all set up for NATO rounds. So I knew that I would have to change the sights. And I was thinking, okay, sights, spring kit, all this other stuff. By the time I did that, it wouldn't have been worth putting the money into it. So I sold it. I had it for a very short time. Have you ever had a red dot definitely change to, oh, okay. All right. He's just, that's gun neglect. Yeah. Unfortunately, music, I have a few guns and I can't shoot them all. And, that's the thing, that I get questioned too, why do you have so many guns? Well, it's America. You can. I just like guns. Are you running the original iron sights on your P10F with your optic? Yes, they are on there, Daryl. It's just the stock sights. They do not co-witness. Matter of fact, CZ Custom or Dawson Precision is coming out with the co-witness sights. They're not available yet, but when they do, I will get them. And I'm only going to get black iron. I'm just going to get the black plain because you don't want a red dot or anything since you already have a red dot on here. So that's kind of useless. So I'll just get the black irons whenever they're available. But right now it's shooting great and I haven't needed the irons. It's a fairly new red dot, so I haven't worried about it. Let's see here. Send them to you and you'll shoot them. Sounds like a plan. Or how about you come here and you can shoot them? So, but we're getting about that time. I really appreciate everyone. We use our old Glock 19 for our travel gun, but shoot the 75 and single action now. Do I install my own sights? Actually, I don't. I know how, and I've done it before. But I have a really good friend who has worked on my 1911s and all that stuff for, gosh, probably 10 plus years. So I can drive him down to him whenever I'm going out that area, and he's got like the really good pushers and everything. And, you know, we'll mic them all up and make sure that they're on there perfectly. So he'll just stick them on there for me. But he's always done a really good job for me. And I use him all the time whenever I need him to, or whenever I need him. So, well, I appreciate y'all so much. Thank you for the thumbs up. If y'all have any questions, or if you're watching this after the fact and you've got a question, you know, please leave it in there. I'll try to answer it back. I really appreciate y'all joining me this evening. Like I said, I just wanted to do this, something a little different, and hopefully we can do it more. And I really appreciate y'all so much. So remember, an unarmed nation is a very weak nation. So we all got to carry on. Thanks, everyone.